Oh, God.
Day 3 of turning this old neglected garden into a masterpiece. Now today, the job is grueling but simple. We're going to pick up from where we left off yesterday. As you'll remember, we were working on the fruit cage. We removed this first planter, we got the mud, we moved that into wheelbarrows, and then we moved the planter and relocated it in a new place up there. And today, we're going to keep that going. The polytunnel's a bit messy at the minute, but don't worry. We've got the 2 wheelbarrows full of the dirt that were removed from that planter. So we've got to house that somewhere else so we can empty another planter. So let's find somewhere. The first thing I'm going to look at is this. Now these have got holes in the bottom so the water can filter out, and it's also a good place to store it where it's not getting in the way. So step 1 is to move the mud from the wheelbarrow into there. How you doing? Now it's a simple job, and today the weather's on our side. So all we got to do is fill up this planter. Bosh. So that's 2 empty wheelbarrows. Let's go for 1 more. Another wheelbarrow to go. Let's just fill up this planter like we said we would. This is going to give us space in the wheelbarrows to be able to continue the work we were doing yesterday and emptying out what needs to be emptied to clear the fruit cage. Gloves on, safety first, PPE and all that. So there we have 1 full planter, and I think with a little bit of compost we could plant something nice in that, and a little bit left in the wheelbarrow. Let's see what we can do. Let's move this planter. I should have filled it up where it was going to be, shouldn't I? Idiot. To its new home. God, you never realise how heavy soil is until you do something like this. Now I've got to find another empty planter. Now this one here is almost empty. Take a look, but it's got some remnants of some green things that are actually growing in there. I don't think they're actually plants that are growing, I think they're just weeds. So let's first empty those out so we're not putting soil, good soil, on top of weeds. And what better to do it with than my trusty bent trowel. This comes in handy. It's not perfect, but let's keep going because we have to think about the bigger job at hand here. This is literally just prepping for the job. So let's get it done. And there we go. 3 fresh wheelbarrows and 2 full planters that can be used to plant new things. And once again, I didn't do it where it belongs, and now I've got to push it. Who needs the gym? Whew. Prep done. Now let's start filling those wheelbarrows. Now just like yesterday, we're tackling the fruit cage. So you'll see there's more planters in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different planters. We've got to get the soil out in the wheelbarrows and start dispersing these into new homes. So I think the first one I'm going to tackle is going to be this one, because it's closest to the door. First, a solar light. Now I want to keep this one good because it actually works. And it's actually nice and bright and a really nice addition to this garden. We got this free donated from Aldi in a surplus collection, so big up Aldi. We've got weeds, more weeds, a very dead tree, some kind of herb, a broken solar light that doesn't work, and a few more miscellaneous weeds and pieces of paper. So there wasn't much. I told you there's no fruit in the fruit cage. There was nothing in there that was worth saving other than the light. So yeah, we're going to empty that out into the wheelbarrow, and let's see if I can do a clap transition. So it's full, just like that. I'm wondering at which point in this project I'll just do it without having to tell you first. Maybe 5 more goes, I don't know. Tell me if I'm doing good at it. So now, you guessed it, we got to take this full barrel of mud and put it in the polytunnel so it doesn't get wet. Barrow number 2. Let's get it full. Just like that. Now we've ran into a bit of a problem because there's a lot of these bricks in the bottom and I don't want to mix the bricks with the soil. As you can see, it has started happening. So we don't want to do that because we want to save the good soil. I assume it was for a filtration or a water, so the water can seep down in the bottom and it doesn't all get clogged in the bottom. Good thinking, but we've got to separate them, unfortunately. And now, as you can see, it will move. And this one has not got a hollow bottom. Oh, I was wrong, look. Oh, I was wrong. It did have a hollow bottom. Idiot. It's not that much, we can fix that. Jesus. That's actually probably worked out for the best. Oh, I tell you what, this work, people think gardening's easy. This is not for the faint-hearted, I'm telling you. So now we're left with a pile of rubble and stone. These little bits, I don't know whether we can repurpose them in the same planter because I understand why they did it. And it's probably to emulate the actual Earth's crust if you think about it, because as it goes down, you get topsoil, lower soil, and then you will start getting rocky fragments. And it probably would help a plant grow and also filter the water so the water doesn't, you know, congelate around the bottom of the planter. So I understand the premise behind this, but I'd have to put it all back in the same order, which is possible. So let's find a new temporary home for the planter itself. Remembering the work we've done over the last 2 days, we put that planter there and sweeped all that out. We took off the bracing around here and then we put that plant there and sweeped all this, remember? And then this bush is here. And then I'm thinking for this planter, it should go there. It does get a bit of sun, not a lot of sun, so we'd have to be a bit careful about what we plant in there. So step 1, once again, is going to be clearing this area and making it nice and neat so we're not putting it into a mess. Just like that. This planter is a bit battered like the one yesterday. Some bits of wood have come off it and it does need a bit of TLC, but I'm still going to put it in its temporary forever home here, just for the time being, and then we'll do the work on it and stain it and everything after. But for now, it's about positioning. So I'm going to put it on its best facing side, which I believe is that side, right there. And there we go. What do you think? New planter, new home. Needs a couple more planks of wood and a bit of a TLC, like I say, but that's fine. But now from doing that, I've made a huge mess here, so let's fix that. So let's sweep up this mess, just like that. Now this next job is actually one that I've been dreading because one of our fruit cage or fruit bed planters here has been overtaken by this bush. So this isn't fruit, this is basically, you might as well call it a weed, and it's just overtaken and overgrown a space that we can actually plant food in. So I'm going to trim it back as much as I can and see what damage the roots have done, because if I can, I'll rip it out. It might take a bit more than just doing that, but let's see how much of a big job it actually is. Let's trim. Now, I'm confident that this is some kind of vine because it's kind of like climbing, should I say. And if it was in an instance of a place that it could climb, it'd probably look really nice. And that's why it's good for privacy, but not here. Here you'll see a young Ronnie in her natural habitat. As she digs the spade into the ground, she tries to relieve the roots. Once again, the precious things that give this plant life. As she embezzles her spade into the dirt, she makes a war cry.
Shut up.
Woo! So we've actually nearly got the whole plant out. It was easier than I thought. Dig that where the roots start, and then twist, and that gets them out. Right, so while Ronnie's digging for gold, I've got to clean up this mess again. Just like that. I think it's gonna rain again. Yeah, I could get used to this. Look, I can just watch Ronnie do all the work. It's a lot easier actually. Look at that. From ugly climbing planter to beautiful planter ready for plants. Leaves are the absolute bane of my life, and they just keep coming, and every day you clean them all up and then you come the next day and they're there again. It's horrible. Now the good thing is that things are starting to look a little bit more tidy. We've still got to clean up the fruit cage area that we made a bit of a mess in earlier, but that will come, and then this area here. But unfortunately now I've got to do one of the worst jobs that there is in a community garden, and that is the compost heap. So somebody left bananas out here, they've got all fruit flies around it, and what I need to do is take them out of the plastic wrappers and put them in here. I don't know if you can see all them flies. Oh my god. Put them in there to make the compost. Now this is a disgusting job, so if I start heaving, it's not my fault, okay? Oh god. So the final job of the day is to pick up all this mud and dirt and rocks that we took out the planter earlier and put it in that wheelbarrow, and then when I replant it or put it back in the planter, I just need to make sure I do it in the right order. Rocks first, then soil, then topsoil. So let's fill this wheelbarrow, or let's do it in our special way. So just like that. And there we go. 1, 2 planters down, 4 wheelbarrows filled, taking everything out of that bush, cleaned all the area up there, absolutely knackered. But now we've got a clear starting point for tomorrow, whereas we can just come straight in with a clear working area and work on that planter right there. It's going to be a long process, this is, but we're here and we're not giving up. Follow this page to see what happens next.